And welcome back, Firewood addicts, to another episode of Travis Does Firewood. Today we're going to try out a new product to me in another installment of Different Ways to Split. Check it out. So before I get into testing this, I called it a Kindling Cracker, I wanted to ask, did you watch yesterday's episode or the interview on the Firewood Addicts podcast series? Tony did great. He had a wealth of information. And again, if you have any questions for Tony from the interview, go ahead and leave them in the comments. I know that he's already replied to one thus far, but go ahead and check that series out. Feels good to connect with other Firewood addicts to share information. If you want to reach out to a certain maybe addict or each other in the comments, do so. Find a fellow addict and connect, either you on Messenger or maybe on Zoom or text or phone call. Support each other, because not all of us have another Firewood addict to reach out to or troubleshoot or ask questions to. Maybe you don't want to comment in the video in the comment section, then don't, but reach out to one of our fellow addicts and we can help each other. It's good to reach out to make sure that we can support and commiserate sometimes, maybe troubleshoot, but reach out to a fellow addict so you don't feel alone as you dream, sing, and eat everything Firewood. Sap on my fingers makes me happy. Alright, so gonna be demoing this. I am borrowing this from a neighbor. Not mine, not sponsored by the company. But before I do that, I want to ask, I know how to get sap off my fingers by using rubbing alcohol, but how do you get sap out of clothes? I got sap on one of my favorite hoodies and went to wash it and there's still sap on it. So hive mind, let me know in the comments, how do you get sap, tree sap, off of clothing? Because this fur is definitely sappy. Sappy. Anyway, back to it. This is made in Australia. I don't do a very good Aussie accent, so I'm not going to even try. Said solid cast iron construction, makes cutting kindling safer, quicker, easier. So I guess we're going to be making kindling. I don't think this would be something that you would use for rounds, but in the Different Ways to Split Firewood, we'll try it out. I don't think she's even used this before, because I don't think this is even ever opened. Let's see. Yeah, this is like brand new. Oh wow, I don't think she's ever used this before. Yeah, this is not even used. Huh, cool. Okay. Comes out, there's instructions. It's like wax paper. No, this is the invoice. Invoice, bubbles. Alright, so, oh, interesting. It says that it's designed in New Zealand, but constructed in Australia. Huh. The patent pending, kindlingcracker.com. So, I assume this is like a piece of the stump was, or log was up. Anyway, I saw this on social media. It kept on popping up, with the all of the algorithms or whatever. So I decided to try this to see what all the hype is about, if there's any hype about it at all. Again, not sponsored by this company at all. I know that there's other makers of something that's very similar. Basically, the wedge is in the middle. It's quite sharp. Not going to cut yourself on it, but sharp. And this is a wedge, right, for the wood to kind of split both ways. Put this on a solid surface. There's holes here, I see, to mount it. to something like a piece of wood or a block. That's kind of nice, so it's stable. And you just put the wood in here and take something like a small sledge, tap it down, and you make smaller pieces of wood into even smaller pieces of wood. So let's try out. I have your different types of wood here. I have this maple that I split a few months ago or so, and we'll see if this works pretty good. I don't know. We'll see if this works. All right, yeah. It's only a few whacks to it. Try it again. Yeah. Okay. See how small we can get this. Ooh. Nice straight grain. Not too bad. Not too bad. Yeah. And I like kind of like when you there's people that who they're splitting with an axe or a maul, and they put the round into a tire or put the tire around a round, so when they're splitting, the pieces don't go flying everywhere. They're all together, especially if you need to resplit a piece. It's all right there. So this is very similar to that, where the top part is in a circle, so when you go splitting, they stay in here, as opposed to just having this be up and then having this top part not be on here. So that's kind of nice, having the pieces after you're done splitting, they fall down and they stay in here like that, which is a cool design, I think. It's back in here. Huh. That didn't work too well. So the paints are rubbing off on these pieces already. Alright, so let's try the other piece. It's more like this is more like a branch piece of maple. Yeah. Okay. Not too bad. Try one more time. The maple. Yeah. So it only takes a few hits per piece to split it. Definitely tell this has never been used. So yeah. So now we're gonna work. So this is drier maple. I measured this the other day, and it's between, I want to say, I think like 22 downwards of maybe 20. So getting there. I did sell some of this the other day to my sauna guy. No word on if he liked it or not, but I have definitely emptied my premium maple that I've had for a few years. So that's empty as of this this month. So let's try actually now, since this is literally, it's called the Kindling Cracker for a reason. Like, it's made for kindling, right? So let's take some of these cedar slabs that I have and see how they work. Yeah. Ooh, see, that's nice and small. This is perfect for my premium kindling bundles. Perfect. Yes, straight grain, no knots, no curves. Okay. I like it. That's nice. That's nice. You kind of have to find the middle of each piece and put in the middle on the blade. If you don't, then it may kick out on you. Got another piece of cedar slab here. See how this does? So you got to make sure that the piece that you want to fit in here is gonna fit. So this is actually just too big for this device. If this ring wasn't here, that may be better. But I think the ring is on top as a safety measure, so someone doesn't sit down or fall and then they hit their head on this wedge. As well as, like I just said before, when you go to split, the two pieces will go to each side and not fall down to the ground. So I think this is a good design. Just it can only take a certain width, which is kind of a bummer in this for this piece here. So let me cut this down real quick. All right, we got our red back. Just gotta be really careful with this. All right, got smaller pieces. Try it again. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, it would be the ideal length and width of these pieces for my premium kindling bundles here. That's super nice. Cool. Cool. So now I have a bunch of kindling here that I can put into bundles, because I know I think I'm low again at the firewood stand for bundles. So that's kind of nice. Put that to the side. So now the real test here, I mean, you would think that the maple would be like the real test of what you could throw at this, but I have some fir here, and let me find a piece that I can fit in here, and we'll try the fir. This fir is definitely green, and yes, there's a train of thought that, and science behind, you want to ideally split wood when it's green, because that's when there's so much moisture in it that all the fibers in the tree are kind of like not floating in water. But as it dries out, those fibers constrict and they get tough and tougher. So there's a train of thought that in most species, the easier it is to split when it's green. So we'll see how. Let me find a piece I can fit in here, and we'll try some fir real quick. All right, so I found a bit of fir that I got on the first load from that recent fir job. Excuse me. And so this is definitely wet, so we'll see how this goes. Right, so it's split, but because it was just big enough to fit inside here in the ring, and now I have expanded it because it's split. You see it split right there. And then won't go down any further because the edges are hitting the ring. So I guess now I need to try to get it out. So I guess that's another thing to think about in doing this, is you have to use wood that is that obviously will fit. So I guess it's good to, when you use this, one of these devices like this, is to use wood that yes will fit inside this ring, but even small enough so when you do split it, it will stay within the ring and not get stuck. So which is why it's called a kindling cracker, because you're making kindling, not firewood size. So we did split the fir. Got the small size here. Definitely. Ooh, yeah, that's wet. She's a wet one. Wink. That, yeah, not bad, not bad. Try this one, see this. Yeah, I think it's gonna be too big for it. Yeah, it's stuck again. Not too bad. Right on. Right on. Let's go find some more wood to split for this thing, shall we? Yeah. Alright. So this is a piece of dry hemlock that is a tree service wood. It's not a branch over there. So let's see how this does. Yep. She split. She split. That's not too bad. What else do I have to split? Let's try some bigger cedar that will fit in here. Try that? Yeah? Let's do it. Let's try this. Let's go find some. Alright, I got a piece of split cedar. So, see how this does. There we go. Not too bad. Still kind of moist inside. That was about a month ago before it can be sold. Making some kindling. Yeah, not too bad. Cool. Alright. It smells amazing. I smell this. Ooh, just you know, smell it? That smells great. Yeah, that's nice. What else do I have I can split? Alright, so this I got a load from my friend Arborist Paul, and at the time he said that it was like a yellow cedar, but someone locally, Dan, and his channel, I'll be below, he corrected it, and he said that this is actually cypress. So I guess this variety of cypress, it burns on par with fir, I think he said. I'm not sure, but this apparently, let's try this. Split it. This is almost seasoned, I think. Yeah, that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. And it smells almost like it does smell like cedar. Can you smell that? Right? You smell that too? Yeah, to bottle that stuff up and sell it. It would be lovely. It would be lovely. Ooh, yeah, it's nice. A little moist on that end, so maybe a little bit more time on this wood. Cool. So, what do you think? I think that there's some pros and cons to this. Not that I'm doing like a review. This is different ways to split. So you can use this to split. Definitely has its limitations. And specific purposes. I think that a lot of us have seen this on the market. Probably been available, I don't know, like the last few years, 2 years or so, as a kindling maker device. I think there's a few of them. There's like this one, and there's one that you like mount to the wall, and you like have a lever, and you like slice the kindling. I think that each one of these devices has its uses, yet limitations. Yes, this is for making kindling. You're not going to take a round or on top of here and split it. This is not going to happen. Even like I just showed, you can't have a bigger piece in here and split it because it will get stuck. Hence these rings. I guess if you bought one of the things and you just took a saw and lopped off these posts so this ring is not there, yes, in theory you could do that and put a piece on here and balance it and split it, well, then if you're going to do that, you might as well just take an axe or a maul or a metal wedge and split your wood. That's just that wouldn't make any sense, right? And if you're in your garage or in your shop with a wood stove, or even at home, and you have a round where you put this on, or a mountain on, I feel that if you have some bigger pieces of dried wood, or even like cedar, and want to split it down and make kindling, sure, that's fine. But that's on a small scale operation. That's, I would say, for personal use. I would not use this to prepare my cedar bundles of kindling. I still feel that my Timber Champ does a great job. Yes, this would be safer to use. Just don't slam your hand on the wood as you're coming down. You don't have to use a small sledge. You can use a hammer if you wanted to. You could use the butt end of a hatchet too, or a bigger sledge. Hell, you could use another log or a rock. I don't know, whatever you can use that had a blunt end and that was heavy enough to split your piece of firewood to make kindling. So that piece of paper in the box was actually an invoice from my neighbor, or not invoice. It was, I think it was the return label if you wanted to return it. And at the time she bought this in 2017 for $89.99. I don't know what they cost nowadays, probably $100 or more. I think there's a few different brands who make something that's very, very similar to this type of tool. Again, I'm not sponsored or being paid to review this. I'm just showing you a different way to split wood. In this instance, kindling. I think that there's value in kindling for your own purposes in your home when you're heating. I personally use cedar because I have cedar. I could definitely go with those Presto logs and have a constant and put them in my stove during the nighttime, so then I have coals in the morning to reheat or to stoke up the stove, the fire. But I do firewood. I have an abundance of cedar, usually, always, and I sell cedar kindling. And sometimes I have scrap, and I use that to start my fires. Other people, they have a processor, and there's always going to be a bunch of like smaller pieces like this size when they're pushing the wood through the processor, and that's good kindling too. I just feel that cedar kindling is one of the best kindlings out there, and I have cedar, so I use it. Now for I think for homeowner, I think this is a great tool. I don't think it's worth $100. I would not pay for that. If I saw this for use on and it was cheaper, I may pick one up just for fun. Like I need to maybe have it next to my bundler, perhaps, and there's a piece that is just a little bit too big to pop this out and split it, as opposed to having to bring out old red, which is fine too. But if this is already set up and have my small sledge ready to go, then I'll just pop a piece inside, and I'll knock it around a few times. Then I have a smaller piece to put in my bundle. So I think it's not only kindling to kind of to help bigger pieces become smaller pieces for whatever reason is nice too. So you let me know your thoughts. Is this useless? Does this have an application? And if so, is that application too niche? Is it too unique, too specific, that a lot of us out there may not need something like this? Woodfellow addicts, Woodfellow firewood addicts need something like this. Maybe you love firewood, but you're not really like a in the yard chainsaw splitting type person, which is fine, but you do love burning in your home for the ambiance, for the heat, whatever it is, and you like this to make your kindling inside your house. Yeah, I'm sure that there's some addicts out there who would appreciate one of these. I wish I had one to give away. I'm not that big yet. I'm not that big of a channel. I am growing, and I appreciate your support. To conclude this edition of Different Ways to Split Firewood, I give you the Kindling Cracker. You let me know if you can think of any pros and cons to this or any other applications that it could be used for the fellow firewood addicts out there. Yeah, so let me know what you think. I appreciate you tuning in. Rock and roll, stay safe, keep cutting. Cheers.